We talked about you guys having fire suits and put you in some like superhero looking stuff, but
We did.
you're in khakis and a polo.
This is Beyond the Moon, a Ditch Witch podcast where we dig deep into news, job site stories, Ditch Witch culture, and all the other dirt that makes up the industry.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Moon, a Ditch Witch podcast. I'm your host, Sean Hubbard. I'm joined by Jeff Smith. How are you, Jeff?
Good.
Good. We are both sitting here with wet pants and wet shirts and wet boots, and we're just drenched. It is dumping rain outside in Louisville, Kentucky.
Very much so.
Yeah, so it kind of rained on our parade, I guess we could say. But those of you that are watching it, if you watch season 1, episode 1, we started this whole podcast with Don Pemberton, who is our Super Witch driver for 30-something years. He was the guy. He did it forever. 2 years ago at this show was his last ride on the most recent Super Witch. He went out in style, and we've got Jeff Smith and Terry Golay is going to hop on the podcast with us today. They are the two new found talents that are going to be our Super Witch drivers. So that's what we're talking about today. And the original plan, Jeff, and we had talked about this a little bit, was we run this thing at 9, noon, and 3 every day of the show, unless we're underwater. So
Like today.
Yeah, yes, but we're exactly like today. So we were going to try to get a reaction. How did the drive go? Obviously, we haven't driven it today. Tomorrow's going to be the day. But I did want to talk to you a little bit about how did this become a thing for you? Because I don't think your job title at Ditch Witch is Super Witch driver. I think you do something else. So maybe we start with that. What is your role within the company?
My actual role is senior engineering manager with responsibility for basically all new orange iron.
How long have you been in that role? Because I was thinking you were a team lead or an engineer over just the backs for a while, but now you're in a new role?
That's correct. Yeah. So let's see, a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
I got the responsibility for all. So yeah, VEX, several years before that. I guess before that, compact utility, trenchers, and backs. And then I was a designer a long time ago.
Okay. And then it was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that you got looped into the other duties as assigned as Super Witch driver, but I don't know that it was assigned. So can you talk about how did you become the guy? You're one of the two guys now that's a staple for our brand to drive the Super Witch. How does that even happen?
Well, I think I sort of tripped into it right at 10 years ago, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So 10 years ago, we wanted the Super Witch to have a new look because our big RT tractors had a new look.
Right.
So kind of funny story, we actually had quoted an outside source to do to make it look like the new trackings.
Okay.
And so the number was really high to get that done. So after one of my staff meetings, I actually asked my manager at the time, I said, can I quote that? So ended up building the new fiberglass hood for it, got it all, put the new operator station on a couple years later, and just so have been working on it for right at 10 years.
I got you. So how does that come about? I mean, everybody sees it, it's parked up on this hill. It's like a monster truck. It's got a chainsaw on the back of it. But those of you in the know, you specifically, that's a body of a model of one of our trenchers, correct? Like what is that machine?
Right. Started as an RT90.
Okay.
It's an RT90 mechanical trencher and always has been. It's a prototype frame from the beginning. So yeah, started as mostly production or prototype parts, and we kind of just shoved the big block Chevrolet in there and put a blower on it. It makes lots of noise.
It does make lots of noise. Yeah, so how long have you been driving the thing? I know, like we talked about, Dawn, been doing it forever. And then you kind of came into the role as a driver. I know you, for 10 years, you've been kind of working on it and building them, but like in the seat of the thing, when did that come about?
Right. So just 2 years, and that, so Don wouldn't obviously let anybody else drive.
Oh, yeah.
Rightly so. So yeah, just 2 years. So right about, honestly, first time in front of a big crowd was about 2 years ago here.
Yeah, and we had, I think 2 years ago, we had an older model, an older version of the Super Witch that came out. It kind of a tip of the cap to Don is, he started this a long time ago, so we kind of wanted to send him out in style with one of the OG models. But do you know how many iterations or versions of Super Witches have there been, or what one are we on?
So we're on 7 today, and then the one we had here last time was 4, but it was also 1 and 2, and so it's right. Yeah. So we've kind of updated a few of them along the way, but
Yeah.
it's 7 total.
Okay, so what's it like? I mean, so we have the virtual reality Super Witch game that people are playing on the other side of the booth here. Have you driven this virtual reality? I was gonna ask you how much different it is, but I'm gonna tell a funny little story here, and I've told this before. I don't think in front of your face. I always tell it kind of behind your back. So we're just gonna reveal this to the world right now. But I was actually with Jeff and Dawn, I think the first time maybe that you ever ran it.
And there might be video.
I have video of it, and it's awesome. We'll try to get that out somehow if I can get Jeff's approval. But it reminded me a little bit of teaching my 16-year-old son how to drive a stick shift. You kind of had a little bucking going on, and I was like chuckling at you, and then I thought, I bet that thing's pretty hard to drive. So
Harder than it looks.
yeah, can you kind of walk me through like what was the training like? What was it like to learn how to drive this 9 million horsepower trencher?
Yeah, there was not much training, you know. Here's just how you started. Here's how you do the ground drive, and here's where your throttle's at.
Yeah,
That was about it.
and just figure it out as you go.
Yeah, which is fine, you know, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was exciting the first time.
Have you ever broken it?
Yes, maybe.
Which
Have you learned a parade or
yeah,
Could be.
yeah. I was thinking about that. So you haven't driven the Super Witch 7 at Utility Expo, but you have in shows. So we take it around to open houses and we do parades and we do some local stuff around Perry. So how many times have you driven it in a performance setting? I know there's hours and hours out in the field up there by the hangar that you put into practice, but how many times have you been putting on a show? 20?
running maybe, I don't know.
Okay, so
5:30.
So that's a pretty good experience, right? In a couple, just a couple years, 15, 20 a year. So what was your mentality coming into Utility Expo? This is our biggest show. This is a demo show. We've got all of our equipment here. Everything runs. The Super Witch fires up. Everybody flocks to the booth. What was your mentality? Were you nervous?
You know, you're always a little nervous.
Yeah.
And it's something you know how to do, but you know, when you've got a whole crowd of people watching you and you know, if you mess up, everybody sees it. So,
Yeah.
but no, I was a lot more nervous 2 years ago than I am now.
Right, I'm sure.
Right. So,
What makes you nervous about it? Is it just the bar that Dawn set so high always puts on a good show, or is it, boy, I hope I don't run this into one of our pieces of equipment that's sitting out here, or I'll take the fence down? Like, what is it that gets to you a little bit?
I think it's always just the fact that you've got a lot of people watching you. You know, the goal of the tractor is to look good for a crowd, and you know, so if anything goes wrong with the tractor, and that's probably the biggest thing.
And then that's we kind of talked about that with Dawn a little bit too. Like, things do go wrong with the tractor.
Right, it's a hot rod.
Like, yeah. So you kind of said tongue in cheek a little bit, like I asked you if you've ever broken one. May or may not have blown an engine of some sort at a parade.
May or may not.
I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nobody really knows. But sometimes things go wrong. And I remember 2 years ago, right out here in our booth, the older version, the Super Witch 4, had something go wrong with it. Do you remember what that was? I can't remember what the issue was.
Yeah, so since that was an older machine, it'd been sitting quite a while.
Right.
And we got it up and going to bring to the show, Don's last ride and all that. Found once we got here, and maybe partially from the trip here, is we shook up a bunch of rust inside the gas tanks. So pretty much between every time we ran it, we were cleaning gas tank out, putting filters on every run. So yeah, we spent a lot of time working on that last time.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that's part of the gig here. I mean, everybody sees the 4-minute show that you put on and think, oh man, that's fun. I want to do that.
Right.
But I can remember 2 years ago when the rust was in the gas tank, and we have what we call a VIP event. We have customers and we have all this stuff, and we go to this fancy place and have some live music and appetizers, and some of us get to do that.
Oh.
Some of us, like Jeff and the Super Witch crew, got to stay here last year and fix the Super Witch.
Yep, that's pretty much what we did.
Yeah. And you know, we always say, you know, the show must go on, but today it's out of our control. So what was the reasoning that we decided not to fire it up at 9 o'clock this morning? And don't say it's raining. Like, what was the concern? It will run in the rain.
Right. I mean, we could run it in the rain, and we were out there debating it until about 10 minutes before 9.
Right.
We were supposed to run it, and So we actually ran a couple SKs around to smooth out the area out there and watch them about bury themselves. And, it's at that point you're thinking, it's pretty muddy out there.
Yeah, it's a mess out there.
Yeah.
So hopefully, maybe later today you'll get to run it. I don't have real high hopes, but I know tomorrow is supposed to be better weather, and you'll put on a great show, and I'm sure of that.
That's the plan, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the plan.
That way tomorrow.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you hopping on.
Right.
I'm going to kick you out of here because I need to talk to Terry Golay, our other Super Witch driver, who's also going to put on the show probably tomorrow. But that's it for now, Jeff. I appreciate your time, brother.
Thanks, Chet.
Thank you. All right, so without any further delay, we've got Terry Golay here, one of my 2 favorite Super Witch drivers. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Pretty good. A little soggy right now. It's a little wet.
It is a little wet.
Yeah, so Terry just walked up here from our brand new Super Witch trailer, which is awesome, by the way, and I kind of want to talk to you about that. But when you stepped out of that trailer, what did you walk into?
So right now in the front of the trailer, there's about a 6-inch river. That water in my boots and, kind of had to trek out of there.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit soggy out there today.
No, it's tough. We should have maybe considered putting in some French drains or something. But I don't know if you've been over on this side of the booth, but we have water coming inside this tent right now. I feel like we're going to be underwater here a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It's coming down right now. Right before I came up this way, it started raining heavier.
Oh.
And I thought, well, this will be a fun trek.
With no end in sight. But yeah, Terry, I'm glad you decided to hop on the podcast today. I wanted to get you and Jeff on with the idea of you guys just ran the Super Witch for the first time at Utility Expo. You know, the newest version. And I wanted to get your reaction with the blood pumping. Oh, but there's too much water.
Yeah.
So I guess my first real question for you has there ever been or is there any consideration now to have a submarine-ish component put into the Super Witch?
The tires are big and they float, but when it's slimy out, safety is our first thought.
Right.
And so, we make that call show by show, and if it gets dry, if it gives us a break, we're going to run that thing because that's what we're all about.
No, it's awesome too, and I love it. And I was talking to Jeff about that a little bit, and Don Pemberton in season 1 is I love the reaction of the crowd when that thing fires up. I mean, you can hear it from seemingly a mile away.
Yeah. It's impressive. I've been coming, to the show for quite a while and just got the opportunity to start driving, but it's impressive to see people leave competitors' booths and run down the aisle
Right.
to catch the show.
I know, it's awesome. So what would, granted, it hasn't happened yet. Hopefully this rain stops and you can run it today. My money's on you're going to run it tomorrow, but we'll see. So what are your expectations, or are you nervous, or what's going on inside of Terry Golay, knowing that you're about to run this thing in front of hundreds of people?
It's always, you're a little nervous because it is a lot of horsepower.
Oh, yeah.
Things happen quickly. You have to have a great respect for the machine, and you have to watch your surroundings. So as you're running, as you're getting ready to run, you want to inspect things and make sure that you're not going to hit a hole and bounce or anything like that. So preparation and then during the run, it's just exhilarating.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure it would be awesome. So and everybody sees the show that you put on, right? It's going to be 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, and everybody thinks, I want to do that. I want to be the Super Witch driver. But I'm hoping you can kind of peel back the curtains a little bit and tell me, how much time have you put into the Super Witch that doesn't include just putting on a show? That's practice time, that's working on it, that's cleaning it, that's hauling it. What all goes into it?
There is a lot of behind the scenes, if you will.
Oh yeah.
You take off just coming up here. It's a 2-day drive.
Right.
And you spend time detailing it. You spend time working on it. If you have a catastrophic failure, you're there until you fix it. So there have been some 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning nights working on the engine in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sure. You can't just call somebody to fix it because you would be who you would be calling to fix it.
right. Yeah. We're the guys. And so, when something happens, you're the one that's fixing it. And so you have to have a good mechanical ability as well. to drive it.
Yeah, that rules me out. I would be terrible. I don't know how to fix anything. I know where the gas goes.
There you go.
That's about it.
That's a good start.
That's a good
Learning that is key.
Yeah.
Not putting it in the hydraulic tank.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. So yeah, speaking of learning that, we say tongue in cheek with Sean not knowing how to operate it. How long have you been driving it, and what was that process like? How did you learn how to drive this thing? It's not like you're just hopping in a car and driving down the road. Like, what was that like?
No, so about 2.5 years ago,
Okay.
I had this discussion with Jeff to start driving it, and we are fortunate. We have several places around the factory that we can, open pasture, if you will, to go practice.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was get it out and practice with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of throttle to ground drive control,
Yeah.
coordination, if you will. You can't just stand on the throttle like you do in your car.
Right. That's not gonna work out.
No, it doesn't work out.
Yeah. Tried that.
So, yeah, it doesn't work out. It hits the chain and throws you right back down.
Oh.
And so your wheelie is not good at all.
Right.
And, if you can get a good wheelie where the chain doesn't actually hit the ground and you continue to keep the throttle burping it, if you will, and controlling it instead of just hitting it,
Yeah.
then you can ride a wheelie a lot longer.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. So that's what everybody loves to see, right? Is the wheelies.
Yes.
So as a driver, operator for 2.5 years now, what do you consider a good wheelie?
Oh,
Like, is it distance? Is it time? Like all of it?
distance, how long you can keep it, in a wheelie.
Yeah.
And controlled, if you will.
Okay.
And just continuing to carry it
Yeah.
and go across the ground.
Right. Do you have a record, or like any idea, like how far is a long wheelie? Are we talking 20 feet? Are we talking 100 feet? Like what? Give me an idea.
I would say out in the open, at the factory, a couple 100 feet.
Oh, wow.
And, we're in a pretty confined space here. So that's the other factor in that.
Right.
You're in a small space and you have to control it
Yeah.
to not hit the tent or a person or the equipment. So
Yeah, it wouldn't be ideal.
it has to stay very controlled chaos.
Yeah, no doubt. How big is this area that we run the Super Witch in? I mean, I'm terrible with dimensions and stuff like that. How big is that? Do you know?
It's probably about 150 feet long, if you will.
Okay.
It's not entirely too large.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, it's enough space where you can get the front tires up off the ground and put on a good show when it's not,
Yes.
4.5 feet of mud.
Right.
But it is a tight space. So does that make you nervous at all, knowing that there's millions of dollars of equipment sitting around there that you're aiming at?
You always keep your head on a swivel and
Right.
keep that in your mind that safety is the ultimate thing. The show is great,
Right.
but if we're unsafe, it's not a good show. You have to just continue to think of that, and yeah, it makes you a little nervous when you're in a confined space because things can happen, but we do our best to make sure they don't.
Right. Have you had any close calls, like when you're practicing, or have you, like Jeff? I remember I went out with the first time he ever ran it, and he blew the engine.
Yeah.
And the thing was just screaming and whistling.
Yeah.
Have you had any alleged incidents?
We were running for a career fair, and actually it just stopped moving, and we figured out that the coupler running the hydraulic pump, the ground drive, had broken, and so we had to disassemble it right there in the schoolyard,
Right.
and take it back to one of our welders at the factory so they could fix it. We could put it back together and get it loaded on the truck.
Yeah, and get it going again.
Yes.
There you go. It's crazy how that works out. We talked about the Super Witch trailer, which is new. Before we had this trailer, how did we haul the Super Witch around? So now we've got a Super Witch committee. Terry's on it, I'm on it, Jeff's on it, Roger's on it, and there's people at the factory that are really trying to promote the Super Witch and make it a huge thing, not just in the industry, but we're trying to use the Super Witch as a vehicle to spread our brand all over the place. So we have this awesome Super Witch trailer that looks like a NASCAR trailer driving down the road. It looks really cool, but it's got about 6 inches of water underneath it. But prior to that, how did we get that? Surely you didn't drive that from Perry to Louisville.
So,
Terrible gas miles.
so typically we would have put it on the back of the semi on a flatbed open trailer.
yeah.
And that is kind of cool because you get people that pull up beside you on the highway.
Yeah.
Then they slow down next to you so they can take a picture.
Right.
And you get a lot of thumbs up.
Oh, I'm sure.
We're going to get a couple of those on the way out here with the trailer.
Yeah.
With having the image of it on the side of it.
Yeah.
And the back door looking like you're looking in the trailer at the front of the tractor.
So what's that like? You are, if I'm not mistaken, in the Super Witch that is on a massive trailer. Like your face is pretty good size.
I actually am, yes. That is a very large picture. Yeah.
That's right. Were you driving the truck?
I was.
And pulling the trailer. So I wonder if people saw, hey, there's the driver of the Super Witch driving the truck that's pulling us.
Yeah, some of them might have realized that it was the same person. Yes.
That's awesome. So you are a part-time Super Witch driver. What do you do full-time for Ditch Witch? Surely.
Yeah. So my full-time job, I'm a product training specialist. I conduct schools, build training to aid our dealer technicians in how to troubleshoot and repair the equipment that we build in the factory. So that's my full-time job.
Right.
And Super Witch is my extra duties as assigned, if you will.
Is it fun though?
And oh yes, definitely fun. I used to have a small pulling tractor, they call it.
Oh, okay.
And so that was where I got my hot rod start. And Don Pemberton,
Yeah.
he used to drive, and he said, you really want to drive this, don't you? And I'd say, no,
I do not.
I do not. I have my own hot rod.
That's right.
And, really I did.
Yeah.
All along.
Turns out
So
you did.
here it is, right?
Here you are. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you're having fun. Hopefully tomorrow this rain lets up and you can put on an awesome show. I do have one question that I'm a little bit upset with you and Jeff about that. I just want to air this out there for everybody. We talked about you guys having fire suits and put you in some like superhero looking stuff, but
We did.
you're in khakis and a polo. What happened?
I think timing was a lot of it. It was good. I'm all for it. I enjoy that, and I'm all for that.
Yeah.
And look forward to hopefully we can make that work out.
I know. Maybe I should have given you more than 2.5 days notice that I thought that would be awesome.
Sometimes ideals sneak up on us,
That's right.
and we just have to wait a little while for them to play out.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
You bet.
Awesome. Well, we're going to continue to wait for this rain to stop so Terry and Jeff can put on an awesome show tomorrow. But that's going to be a wrap with the 2 new Super Witch drivers today. And we'll catch you guys next week on another episode of Beyond the Moon.
You bet.
Thanks, sir.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Beyond the Moon. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform and follow us on social media @DitchWitch.